we're in a different location, so you know that this is gonna be a different type of video. And this is like one of the most anticipated videos that I've been wanting to make on this channel, and that is a discussion about fan fiction. Now, I've been writing fan fiction since I was like 13, 14, about that time, because that's when my roommate, well, former roommate, really got into it. We've been friends since we were like in elementary school or whatever. And she was browsing Quizilla when Quizilla was still a thing. And she found like my first fan fiction. I will never forget it. It was really, really trashy. It was something like, I remember it was a Harry Potter one because we were really, really into Harry Potter. That was like the very first fandom we ever entered. And I believe it had something to do with being Draco's girlfriend, but sleeping with his father. So it was something along the lines of Draco Malfoy's my boyfriend, but something about his father. I don't remember. Yes, it was trashy as hell, and yes, it was smut or lemons, as they used to be called. Do you remember when it was called lemon instead of smut, or lime when it was like kind of smutty, kind of fluffy, but like not quite there, and it was called lime? Yes, a lot of people don't remember this, but I do. Yes, it had lemons in it, and that's like when I first got into writing fan fiction. My stuff like was never smutty because I'm still very uncomfortable with writing smut. When I write smut, it's more like, I guess you could say erotica. It's not like porn. I don't write porn. But yeah, my first fan fictions, oh my god, if you're a writer, then you like, I'm sure you understand. You go back a couple of years later and you read your writing and you're like, oh my god, what the hell was I thinking? And so like I go back and read them like every now and then thinking, well, maybe I can salvage this somehow. Maybe I can edit it and then repost it. And every time I read it, I'm like, oh, this is so cringy. What was I thinking? I don't even understand. And then I'll find like outlines and stuff and I'll be like, girl, this is not good. What are you doing? So I think that's a good thing about fan fiction, is if you really love stories and you love writing, fan fiction sometimes is a really good place to start, because you find out like if you're writing a multi-chapter fic, then you learn like what your process is and like what your planning is, or if you are kind of like me and you just go wherever the characters tell you to, which screws up my plans a lot of times and it pisses me off, but what are you gonna do? Now, for those of you who don't know, I probably should have started the video out like this, but for those of you who don't know, fan fiction is the process of like inserting yourself or inserting another character or changing canon of a already established story. So let's take Harry Potter for example, since I've been in the Harry Potter fandom since forever. And let's say that I love Draco Malfoy, which I do, by the way. Draco Malfoy is my bae. He's my baby. He's my son. I love Draco with all of my heart, and no one can change my mind. But anyway, let's say that I love Draco Malfoy, and he doesn't really have a love interest in the movies. So let's just take this little like OC person, which means original character, and throw them into the story and have them interact with the characters and the things that happen in canon. Maybe change them, maybe just, you know, be there to be there or whatever. Or if you're a shipping person, which shipping is obviously is like you like two people to be in a relationship. Like I think the two biggest ships in Harry Potter are Drarry, which is Draco and Harry, and Snarry, which is Snape and Harry. Let's not even go there. Let's not even go into Snarry. No, thank you. I'm not that big of a fan of shipping characters, but like if I find something that has two people shipped, like that are not in a relationship in canon, then I'm like, okay, I don't really ship it. Now, one that I do ship is Seamus and Dean Thomas. Yes, please. Even the actors themselves ship their characters. So it might as well be canon, but it's not exactly. Now, I feel like I should mention how many fandoms that I actually am in. I won't be able to name all of them because there are so many. There are some that I'm still active in, there, like Harry Potter. There are some that I'm semi-active in, like Twilight. I'm not really big into writing Twilight fanfiction anymore. I have like one ongoing right now, but that's about it. But, and then there are other fandoms like Teen Wolf and somewhat Supernatural. I don't really write for Supernatural anymore, but I definitely do not write for Teen Wolf. I have one that, and Vampire Diaries. I don't write for Vampire Diaries anymore either. I have 2 fics in those 2 fandoms that will forever sit unfinished because I don't care to go back to that fandom because it's not really that big of a fandom anymore, really. But yeah, I'm a predominantly OC writer. Like, I write original characters into the stories and into canon to like change things or be a love interest or have their own little storyline or whatever in the series. But yeah, other than that, I don't write, like I said, I don't write ships. I guess for fandoms, would definitely be Harry Potter. Duh. Tolkien, somewhat. I don't really write for Tolkien anymore. Only if like the mood strikes me or I find a really good idea will I actually write for Tolkien, which is like any of the Lord of the Rings movies, any of the books, The Hobbit, any of the Hobbit movies. I have a couple unfinished fics that I'll probably never go back to. Twilight, like I said, I have one ongoing right now. It's a Jasper OC with a girl who's a witch and has a 2-year-old daughter. So I thought it'd be a nice way to switch things up. Teen Wolf, I have one that's gonna sit unfinished forever. Supernatural, another one that is gonna sit unfinished forever. I write for like small movies, like I write for Newsies, which probably no one's ever heard of unless you like the film and you like the musical. What else? I've written some for Fast and Furious, some for the movie Anonymous. I've written like one. I've written one for Dunkirk because of Harry Styles. And yeah, I just kind of, if I find a movie that I like and I have a good idea, a good enough idea, I'll go ahead and write it, even if it's not like that popular of a movie and no one's really gonna click on it and read it, because I don't care. I don't write for anybody else. I write for myself. I playfully say that I write to make the voices in my head stop. So yeah. And then now I'm pretty sure we should address the elephant in the room, and that is the fact that I write fan fiction about real people. Yes, I said it. I'm one of those girls. Yeah, I don't even know how I got into this in the first place. I wrote some for like Harry Potter actors when I was younger, and I didn't even really know what I was doing. It wasn't until up until a couple of years ago where I started writing for like actors. I write for band members. That's about it. I tend to stay with actors and band members because there's enough of their material and enough interviews that will give you a good enough picture of their personality and stuff, so you could get their personality down pretty right in a story. My first actor that I ever wrote for was Tom Hiddleston, because I was one of the girls who went and saw Avengers and was like, yo, who is this guy that plays Loki, because I need to know. And then I just went down a rabbit hole, and I haven't emerged since. I don't really write for actors anymore. There for a while I was writing for Tom Hiddleston, Benedict Cumberbatch, Chris Evans, Sebastian Stan, basically anybody who's ever been in an Avengers film. I also wrote for Lee Pace, who plays Thranduil in The Hobbit. I wrote for Richard Armitage, who plays Thorin in The Hobbit. I think that's about it. I wrote one for Tom Felton, who plays Draco Malfoy. Do I still write for actors? Yeah, occasionally, but they're more of slashies, which are actors / singers. I mostly write for them because that's kind of what I know, because I love bands and music is my life and stuff like that. So I used to write for Jared Leto and Shannon Leto from 30 Seconds to Mars. I kind of stopped because I kind of not really into their music anymore. I mean, I still listen to them, but I'm not like obsessed with them anymore. Let's see, who am I obsessed with right now? Obviously Andy Biersack from Black Veil Brides. Any of the guys from Black Veil Brides I will write for. Remington Leith from Palais Royale, I'll write for all three brothers of Palais Royale. I just now started writing for Austin Knight of Water Parks and Yungblud, which Yungblud's like kind of like an up-and-coming artist, so I wouldn't expect anybody to really know who he is unless you're like into the alternative music scene. Let's see, let's look at my wall. Motionless in White, I write for the lead singer Chris. All Time Low, I write for I think pretty much all of them, all the guys in All Time Low. I've written 1 or 2 Maddie Mullins for from Memphis Mayfire. Damn, I write for a lot of freaking people. And I have ongoing, I don't really write multi-chapter fics. I have a couple going right now, but I find it so difficult to actually sit down and plan that I kind of, like I said, I kind of just let the actors, I kind of let the characters do what they want. And I know that a lot of people think, oh, writing for real people, that's creepy. That is not normal. That's weird. Well, yes and no. I can see where they're going with that because it's like, they're real people. Like, these are real people in real life and they have real life husbands and boyfriends and whatever else. And I'm like, yes, I get that. Like, I've met the guys of Mice and Men and I still write fan fiction for them. I've met the guys in All Time Low and I still write fan fiction for them. But the thing about fan fiction is that, yes, we know that they're real people. Like, I'm not stupid. I've met them, I've talked to them, I've discussed things with them. Like, I know they're real people and they have real lives and they're real people. But in fan fiction, especially fan fiction for real people, we kind of characterize them like, you want to make a super nice guy a cocky asshole? Well, you can, because in the context of fan fiction, they're a character. You can make them anything you want to, which is like the great thing, because I've seen so many great AUs, like alternative universe fics of like actors and band members, and they're amazing and I love them, and the people who write them are so talented. Like, I suck at AUs. I write them occasionally, but I don't think they're all that very good. They're not as good as some other people's, which is a major character flaw. I always think everybody's so much better than me. But in fan fiction, you can make them their perfect selves. Like, you want them to be the perfect boyfriend? Well, you can do that. You want to make them, I don't know, like I said, a cocky asshole when he's normally like a really good guy. Well, you can do that because it's fan fiction. You can do whatever the hell you want in fan fiction, which I think is why people write fan fiction, which is why I felt Kath's pain in Fangirl, because she's like, I'm not good at writing fiction. I can't. All I know is fan fiction, which that's kind of how I feel. Like, I have a book that I'm like legitly planning that I want to get professionally published one day. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'll just publish it myself. I don't know. I'm just kind of like feeling things out right now. But yeah, if you have any questions about fan fiction or you want to discuss things, I will be linking my Wattpad. Yes, I have a Wattpad. My band fanfiction and my multi-fandom fanfiction in the description below. So if you want to go read it or you want a taste of what it's like, then I will happily link them below. I'll also link some blogs of people that I like to read. Most of them are gonna be Harry Styles, because I'm kind of into him right now. I was never a One Direction girl. Let me make that very clear. I was never a Directioner. If One Direction gets back together, I will not be going to any of their concerts. I am not a Directioner. I like them all separately. Just let me put that out there and make that very clear. I am not a crazy Directioner. I'm sorry if you guys, if anybody who's watching this is a Directioner, I'm not meaning to insult you. It's just some directioners that I've come in contact with are fucking crazy. They're insane, and I don't want anything to do with them. So yeah, thank you for coming to my TED Talk, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye!